The state of Illinois' budget projections have the state spending $10 billion more by 2030 with an annual budget deficit of $5 billion over the next 5 years. They project the state will run total deficits of $22.2 billion as they look to spend even more tax-paying money. It is Illinois in Focus. I'm Greg Bishop. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and get the newsletter at thecentersquare.com. Podcast anywhere you podcast. All right, so the Governor's Office of Management and Budget here in Illinois put out a report, not last Friday, the Friday before, that said, hey, here's the budget projections. We're going to spend $65 billion by 2030. Right now, we're spending about $53 billion. But by 2030, we're going to have a $5 billion annual deficit. The year before that, $5 billion. The year before that, $5 billion. The year before that, $4 billion. The year before that, $3 billion. So next year, they're anticipating a $3 billion budget deficit. Obviously, COVID dollars seem to have evaporated. They're no longer available, even though Democrats said they didn't use COVID dollars to pad the budget. But now that we've got a $3 billion expected deficit next fiscal year, you got to ask yourself why. Governor J.B. Pritzker last week, he was asked about those numbers, and he kind of downplayed them and say, listen, we're gonna propose a balanced budget. Here's the governor.
The General Assembly and I have balanced the budget every year. When I came into office, the projections were that everything was going to go south immediately and we wouldn't be able to recover from it. We balanced the budget every year. Indeed, we ran surpluses. So we're going to balance the budget again. This is a forecast that's made every year, looking 5 years forward, assuming no changes in any laws. Forget about revenue. It's just generally no changes in law, no changes in efficiencies, et cetera. It's a kind of a flat projection forecast, and it's been wrong every year, I guess you might say, or we've defeated it, every year, and so I think we're going to submit a budget to the General Assembly. I know I'm going to submit a budget to the General Assembly in February, like I have every year over the past 6 years, and it'll be balanced.
So the governor promising to propose a balanced budget. But Senate Republicans yesterday at the Capitol during fall veto session, they held a news conference where State Senator Sally Turner, a Republican from Beeson, she spelled out why she believes the state's budget's out of whack, especially now that those COVID dollars are gone.
One of the biggest areas that the governor and his allies are out of touch is their massive spending on non-citizen programs. When Governor Pritzker took office, total spending on non-citizens was a few $1 million a year, and it has grown to at least $1 billion per year. That includes our first in the nation free health care for non-citizens adults that has cost our taxpayers more than $2 billion since fiscal year 2021. Now, not only do our citizens have to pay for their own health care, they also have to pay taxes to give free health care to people who are here illegally, people that have been invited to come here with his sanctuary policies.
Again, we're talking $1 billion plus that the healthcare subsidies have cost. Your tax dollars going to pay for non-documented non-citizens to get healthcare coverage. Some are saying that that's a magnet for other non-citizens to come to Illinois. How is that going to be handled by the incoming Trump administration is a great question, something that we're going to try to get to the bottom of. What's Trump going to do? Is he going to withhold grant dollars? Is he going to try to withhold funding for these types of things, for healthcare services for non-citizens? The taxpayer cost of that in Illinois alone, $1 billion plus, it's expected to increase. State Senator Chapin Rose, a Republican from Mahomet, said that, listen, whatever the state does, it can't go back to taxpayers because taxpayers already were hit with $1 billion of tax increases in the current spending plan. But moving forward, more taxes will just be more piling on.
This budget we're in right now that took effect July 1st is predicated on $1 billion in taxes on the people of Illinois. Okay? $1 billion. When the governor, if he does get engaged and he finally does get off his high horse, think he's run for president, he needs to figure out that all those people that he says he's defending have had it. People are tapped out, Governor Pritzker. They don't have more to give. So whatever you do this budget year, it needs to be done without increasing tax on the working people of Illinois.
So again, Senator Rose sharing his thoughts there. Obviously, a lot of budget talks going to happen in the new year. We're in veto session right now. All right, legislators back in Springfield, they're talking about all kinds of things. What are they actually going to do for veto session? Not sure. The governor didn't veto any of the 469 bills the legislature passed this year. Then they've got lame duck session in early January, and then the new General Assembly is seated mid-January. We'll be on the ground with the Center Square, tracking all of that for you here for Illinois in Focus Daily and with America's Talking Network. Be sure to get the podcast anywhere you get podcasts. Subscribe to America's Talking Network and click that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we go with these live shows each and every weekday morning at 8 o'clock here with America's Talking Network. I'm Greg Bishop. We'll be on it.